Spiritual mania. You may have it and not even know. Are you doing all the spiritual practices under the sun to try and change your reality, yet nothing's changing? You're not getting the life you want. You've done everything you've been told to do by the manifestation gurus, by the spiritual gurus, by the astrology gurus, by everybody, yet nothing seems to change. You haven't got the reality you want. What is going wrong here? You might have spiritual mania. Let's get into it. So, what is spiritual mania? I'm going to tell you, but first, I have to break down the structure of the universe. So if you saw my last video, we're going to draw my handy dandy pyramid here. And hopefully I give myself enough space this time. I think last time's pyramid was better, but I need more space this time, so it's all good. Now I'm going to divide this pyramid into 3 parts. Right? Up here we got spiritual. These are the 3 planes of existence, right? We got mental. And we got physical. I don't know why it is once I start writing physical, everything mashes up. It's okay though. It's because I gotta exercise. I gotta squat at the same time.
You had to get physical with it.
That's what I'm talking about. All right. So this is our pyramid. Pyramid of reality. Up here is the all. Or God, Allah, the creative force in the world, etc. Now, what you gotta understand and what you gotta know is that, okay, here is your soul. Like we said last time. Here's your mind. Here's your body. Pyramid's crooked. It's fine. You get the point. What happens when you have spiritual mania is that you are only concerned with this part of reality, with the spiritual realm only, and you end up neglecting the other realms, body and mind. Now, people that deal with spiritual mania tend to live a lot in the mind, but it's also because they are trying to access things here for their soul and here in the spiritual realm constantly. And what you have to understand is that body, mind, and soul are all connected. As above, so below, as within, as without. It is the second law of the universe, correspondence. Okay? So if you end up neglecting the physical realm, dashing away the material world, it will negatively affect your mind and negatively affect your soul, your spirit. It will affect your entire reality. Here's the thing. There are so many people that get stuck up in this element here, and they take in every spiritual practice ever, everything ever, right? So that involves what? Religion. That involves all kind of practices. It could be astrology. It could be Wicca, tarot. It could be all sorts of things. My wife has done all these things. I'm not bashing her.
Fired. No, I'm joking.
Okay. Here's the thing. Knowledge is good. Consuming this knowledge is not a bad thing. It's when you build your whole identity upon it and you solely focus on the spiritual side of things. This messes up the rest of your reality. Okay? This is what you have to understand. Because when you only focus on the soul, you neglect the mind and the body. And I'm going to break down where this comes from. Where does this whole line of thinking actually come from that creates this spiritual mania? Because when you only live in the spiritual realm, you cannot import things you can't import the things you want into the physical realm. Okay? Because you're missing steps. You're neglecting steps. So where's this train of thought come from? All right? It actually comes from Gnosticism. So if you know what Gnosticism is, it's an early Christian teaching, which is a reinterpretation of the Bible, a reinterpretation of religious texts, right? Now, Gnosticism believes that the God of the Bible was actually a lesser God called the demiurge that created the physical reality. So people who are Gnostics believe that the material world, the physical reality, is a bad thing, a bad, terrible illusion. This is also why they don't believe that God would ever come down to earth as a human. They say, why would an all-powerful, universe-creating being come down to this place, which is a mess, which is material consumption, which is war and chaos and problems? They don't understand. Why would that happen, right? So they're very much kind of against the idea of God being Jesus, right? If you're religious. Now, here's the other thing about Gnosticism. Due to the fact that the material realm is all bad and problematic and you want to escape it, Gnosticism is very much concerned with the spiritual realm. Okay? That's how that operates. Now, another thing about Gnosticism, the demiurge, this version of a lesser god, right? They say assaulted, S-A, assaulted Eve and led to the birth of Cain and Abel. The reason they think this is, why on earth would these divine creations from this divine being give birth to people who would harm one another? Why would you give birth to somebody who would hurt their brother, kill their brother, in this case of Cain and Abel? So they're like, no, that's nonsense. The demiurge assaulted this woman, and that's why that happened. They believe that the third son of Adam and Eve, Seth, my namesake actually, is the first incarnation of Christ within the story of the Bible, because he is the perfect synthesis of divine masculine and divine feminine. So that's what you have to understand about Gnosticism, and that's where this denial of the physical realm comes from. You follow me?
Yeah, that was a lot. That was crazy. That was a mind-blowing experience.
The more you know. The more you know. So when you deal with spiritual mania, right, you end up not being able to import things into your reality. Now, if you watch my last video, okay, your mind's divided in two. I'm going to solidify these lines a bit, right? Your mind's divided in two. You have the masculine mind, you have the feminine mind, okay? This is your I, this is your me. The I, the masculine mind, is self-perception. What you think of yourself, who you are, your I statements. I am this particular person. I am an entrepreneur. I am a YouTuber. I am powerful, strong, handsome, whatever. What you actually think of yourself. Feminine mind is the me. This is the receiving element. What belongs to you, what you have, mine, me. That belongs to me. This is mine. That's the feminine element. What happens is the masculine mind impregnates ideas into the feminine mind, which create reality. You're laughing at the word impregnate?
No, because I was just, the process you're walking us through and like the steps, it's like you impregnated her mind. How do you impregnate? Anyways, PG-13.
Right.
PG-13.
Right. So the masculine impregnates the feminine mind. This is the subconscious, right? Y'all seen this in my Two Minds video, if you've seen that video, okay? So this is the subconscious. The subconscious is the womb of creation. Whatever's in your subconscious will come into your reality. This is reality down here. Okay? That's what comes into your reality. Now, what you need to understand is that people that have spiritual mania end up becoming incredibly disempowered. The reason being is that they're neglecting two elements. You need to be empowered in your life if you want to manifest things. Your level of self-empowerment will allow you to more quickly create your manifestations, will allow you to exert your will more on the universe to get what you desire. So what's involved in empowerment? There's 7 elements. I'm gonna write them down here. You got mind. Actually, no, I can't write them there. We're gonna mess up the board a bit, but it's okay. It's better if I write them by the mind, but we'll see if I have space. So you have to empower your mind. You have to empower your health. You have to empower your relationships. You have to empower your income. I'm gonna go to the other side. You have to empower your wealth. Income and wealth are not the same thing, okay? 6, you have to empower your influence. And 7, you have to empower your spirit. Hopefully everything's in focus. Hopefully everything's good. So you have 7 points of empowerment in life: mind, health, relationships, income, wealth, influence, spirit. All of these things, the more empowered they are, the more easily you will be able to manifest. The more easily you will be able to change your reality. So let's break down somebody who can definitely change their reality. Somebody like a billionaire, like a Jeff Bezos, okay? He's empowered in the mind, all right? He thinks well of himself, I would imagine. He's been able to build a phenomenal company. You do have to think good things of yourself in order to do that. So he's empowered in the mind. His I statements are probably quite powerful. Therefore, that imports into his feminine subconscious mind, and he has built one of the biggest companies in the world, okay? His health. Jeff Bezos is jacked, right? When he was building Amazon, he was a skinny nerd. Now he's freaking jacked. He's more empowered, which actually assists his mind, and he is respecting his body, right? Fitness is down here. Health is down here, right? He's respecting his body, which means he empowers his mind and his soul. Strong body equals strong mind equals strong soul, and vice versa. Strong soul equals strong mind equals strong body. Boom. His health, his relationships. Now, he was recently divorced, but he was in a long-term relationship for a very long time. He's remarried now. Romantic relationships. Okay, so he has a romantic relationship. He has business relationships. You can't run a company like Amazon without good business relationships. Now, some of you might be saying, oh, yeah, but he treats his employees terribly. He treats his employees bad. Amazon employees have bad conditions, etc., etc. Here's the problem. This is another spiritual thing, right? You think that spirituality has to do with morality, has to do with good and bad. But morality actually lays down here. Morality is lower on the spectrum of the universe, okay? Morality is something that humans do. Humans judge. Let me explain this to you, and I'm going to get back to the relationships thing. You might think what Jeff Bezos does with his employees is bad. Yes, it's not preferable. It's not great. But the thing is that the creative force of the universe, God, does not judge, doesn't deal in good and bad. People deal in good and bad. This is where you get the fall of man. So what happens with Eve? Eve represents the feminine mind, right? Represents the point of view that wants certain pleasures and things like that. Eve takes from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Good and evil. And then what happens? She takes from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and then she has judgment because she now knows what's good and bad. And you move from the all and you get the fall of man. The fall of man into the physical plane. Now you judge things as bad and good. But God doesn't. It all came from God. You understand?
I'm really liking this new style of yours.
Are you following me, huh?
Yeah.
It's for the visual learners, you know?
Yeah, I think I'm more of a visual learner. But of course, I was slurping up every piece of knowledge you were giving before, but this is definitely hitting a spot for me.
I think this works better, the diagrams and all this type of stuff. So, relationships, right? So there's no good without bad. There is nobody who's going to be super empowered and have all this kind of influence and wealth and money and power and manifestation ability in the universe without there being some bad involved. It is the swing of rhythm. If you watch my Two Minds video, I talk about that. I might talk about that here as well. I don't know yet. I'm doing this off the fly. Income. You think Jeff Bezos doesn't have any income? How much billion this guy income a month? You know what I mean? Amazon makes a lot of money. Income. All right, this is your ability to provide services in the world and help other people in reality, in the body, right? Which means you end up helping their mind and their soul. This is your ability to help people. Income, that's what you get paid for. A lot of people are only able to help people to a certain degree through a job or some form of self-employment. But the more people you can help or the bigger problems you can solve for people, in reality, you will make more money. The reason people who have spiritual mania have a problem with making money is because they don't try to do anything down here. Not trying to help enough people here. They're trying to help them up here, which is fine and all, but you can't neglect them down here because ultimately you're trying to help them here so they can get something here. What do you think all these spiritual practices do? Ultimately, it's trying to help you change your reality, is it not? You study astrology so that you can change your reality or know more about yourself, know more about reality. You study tarot so that you can change your reality or know more about your reality. You can't neglect down here. Right? Right. Income, wealth. Wealth is a little different. Wealth and income are not the same things. Wealth is your ability to sustain your lifestyle without income. Okay? So some people have no wealth at all. If they don't get paid next week, life's done. There's plenty of people in circumstances like that. I was in circumstances like that for a very, very, very long time. Okay? So wealth and income aren't the same thing. There are some people that have such tremendous amounts of wealth that their family for generations upon generations upon generations will never need to work, will never need to have income. That is wealth. That is another level of empowerment. Jeff Bezos ain't wealthy? Definitely is. Influence. You as a person have a sphere of influence. How many lives can you touch? How many lives can you help? How many people do things when you say it? How many people can you influence? This is important for manifestation because you need other people in this world. You need other souls to assist you. It's all coming from you, but there's a collective effort to make your desires happen. You understand? That involves influence. Jeff Bezos don't have influence. Tomorrow, Jeff Bezos could shut down Amazon and y'all lives would change forever. Our life would change. We use Amazon like every 2 days.
No, literally, I use Dollarama and Amazon basically for majority of our house.
There you go. Boom. We have a Dollarama and Amazon house. Okay.
And
Influence.
It looks amazing. Sorry.
What's amazing?
I said, and it looks amazing.
It does. It does. Influence. Okay. And finally, spiritual is last. Spirit is last. Spiritual empowerment. What is it to be spiritual? Spiritual is just your ability to change your reality. That is what the true spirituality is. Anything else is just you playing some kind of character or facade or something. Spirituality is your ability to change your reality. So all of these things allow Jeff Bezos to be a highly spiritual individual because he can change reality like that. How quickly can you get what you want? How much of this has empowered you for you to get what you want? That's your level of spirituality. That's your level of vibration, frequency, awareness, alignment, consciousness. You understand? And this is why, once again, people with spiritual mania, they have a problem understanding why it is that the people who seem the least spiritual have the most, are able to import the most into their lives and have such powerful manifestation capabilities. Because the more spiritual you get, the less spiritual you seem to the masses. Because most people deal in, like I said before, morality when it comes to spirituality. They think of good and bad. It's like, yo, why does Bill Gates do all this bad stuff and he has billions of dollars? Why is Elon Musk digging up cobalt in Africa with child slave workers or whatever, and he has all this empowerment in his life? Why is Jeff Bezos treat his employees bad? He has all this empowerment in his life. Because you're thinking morally. You think being a quote unquote good person makes you more spiritual, when actually it just makes you more human, like more down here, more in the physical realm than you think.
Like the all God, like they always just associate it with like the positive aspects, the hero, you know, but if you actually look at God, he's literally the all, so he would encompass the positive and the negative as one together.
Exactly.
So that's why there would also be no judgment to that.
Exactly. Like I said before in one of my other videos, multiple videos, God doesn't judge. People judge. So now you have an understanding of how this works, right? The reason people with spiritual mania only want to live in the soul realm, right? And only, take their time studying the Anunnaki and the Nephilim and the Book of Enoch and all these things, which is fine, which is cool, but they build their entire identity off of it and then can't make anything happen in reality. Now you know why. But I don't just come with problem. I come with prescription. Okay? So if you have spiritual mania, how do you solve this so that you can actually import the things you want into your reality? Well, first you have to understand why you don't want to deal with reality. You don't want to deal with reality because you dislike your reality. You dislike reality. A lot of people who deal with this spiritual mania concept have a problem with where their life is. And this is often why a lot of these people will get addicted to certain drugs that take a lot of psychedelics, like not in like a spiritual sense. They'll take it in just recreation all the time. And that's fine. You can do what you want to do. But the reason being a lot of the time is you're trying to escape reality. You don't like your reality because you only see bad stuff. Sad, angry, fear. You're like, why do I want to be here? Why would I want to be here? When I take my psychedelic shrooms, whatever it is, oh shit, my slipper almost came off. I feel happy. I feel fulfilled. I feel just good. Right? I knew I was going to get to the swing of rhythm. But all you're dealing with is, there's a pendulum that comes down this way, very light pendulum, which is you. All you're dealing with is rhythm. Whoom. Swing this way. Whoom. Swing that way. Psychedelics. Happiness, happiness, happiness. Woo. Elated. I'm seeing all these amazing things. I'm seeing all these high vibratory things. Right? Up here. High vibration. This is fast. This is the all. Down here, slow. Right? Seeing all these high vibration things, I'm experiencing high vibratory experiences. But really, all you're dealing with is a temporary swing up in rhythm, and when it's over, you're gonna swing back here and dislike your life. And so what's gonna happen again? You're gonna take the drugs again, you're gonna go watch some other spiritual thing, you're gonna go do whatever it is you do to feel like this again. And you're gonna swing back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And you're gonna get stuck, and you're not gonna be able to change your reality because you're dealing in these emotions constantly going back and forth. You get me? Okay? So, how do you escape this? You have to start accepting that reality is a thing, and it is a good thing. Let me ask you something. If you're a spiritual being, right, that's having a physical experience, as a lot of people say, why would you choose to come down here into this physical existence if it didn't have some sort of reason, some sort of use, some sort of purpose? Let me tell you something. Nothing comes into reality without purpose. There is a reason you have a physical reality. There is a reason you have a physical body. Do you think that, let's say you're religious, right? You believe in God creating the entire universe, right? Creating people. Do you think God is going to make the mistake of giving you something you don't need? A physical body, a physical vessel to traverse this world and experience this world? Why would you have it if there wasn't purpose to it? Okay? There's some cool things in Gnosticism. There's some cool stories. I'll give it that for sure. And you're fine to believe what you believe. But you can't deny this. You need to experience it. A lot of the time, people that deal with spiritual mania tend to have health problems. Why? Because they're neglecting the body. They're neglecting the physical realm. They so badly want to live in the soul realm that they're neglecting the realm of the body. Yo, guys, I know you've dated a spiritual chick, right? And what she tell you? I have low iron. I have low zinc. I have low magnesium. Right? You have low iron. Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're learning something here.
Actually, I'm doing better with that.
Actually, you are. Yes, you actually are. That's improved a lot, actually, since I met you. So, yeah, they have these health problems like low iron, low magnesium, low zinc. These are metals. Metal. This is physical realm stuff. Metals of the body, right? It's not like putting freaking steel into you, but it's a form of metal in your blood, in your body that creates certain things for you, right? They're lacking in this all the time. Like all the time. It's crazy because they're concerned about here, not here. So what did I say before? If you neglect here, and then you neglect here. You need to respect the vessel you were given, right? So take care of it. Fitness, health, your mind, right? Take care of it. And here's the thing. Since y'all want to know spiritual things, love. Okay? Love. Love is a spiritual realm thing. You need to import love of yourself down here. Love yourself. Love the vessel you've been given. Love the physical reality you've been given. So I had to jump back in because my camera only records half an hour. So, if y'all want to like the video and subscribe so I can buy a new camera that records longer than half an hour, I greatly appreciate it. So, love, right? You need to love yourself. Love the physical vessel that you've been given. Right now, you're dealing with spiritual mania because you don't love yourself. Just telling it as it is. And you need to develop some self-love. That's how you're going to assist this aspect of yourself. And what you also need to understand is that a tree's branches will not reach up to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell. So what does that mean? You need to have an element that grounds you, okay? Grounded. This is grounded. This is enlightened. Hopefully I spelled that right. I don't know what happened there. But this is grounded. This is enlightened. You need both. You need both. You don't just be enlightened. The more enlightened you are, the more you're going to realize that this is actually important for you. Okay?
That is literally why when you're setting up meditation, they normally will do a grounding exercise, or before you're supposed to do any spiritual work, you always do like grounding things before really stepping into that space.
Yep.
And doing that again afterwards.
And I was about to say something about that. So there's actually a lot of people that practice this grounding stuff, right? Because they've been told to do it spiritually. But really, that's where it's coming from. That's what they're thinking about, that this is a spiritual process, which it is. But you need to understand that if your grounding just doesn't have to do with, putting your feet in the dirt and that type of stuff, even though that is helpful. That's not all it has to do with. This is a mind game. You need to also be grounded in reality. You need to be grounded in reality. Reality exists, okay? It exists. I remember, I think it was the other day, actually. It might have been today, actually. I was looking at Neuroknowledge's Instagram, and he was answering questions on his story, and somebody said, how do I escape 3D reality? He said, why would you want to do that? Okay? He's right. Why would you want to do that? You've been brought here for a reason. You're having this physical experience for a reason. Okay? So you need to love yourself. You need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of your body. And that's how you're going to empower your soul even more, because you will be empowering your health. Right? And that's going to empower your soul. You're going to become a more spiritual being because you're going to be more capable. And what you got to understand is that a lot of the people who are highly intellectual, right, and also highly soul driven, right, a lot of them neglect their bodies. The thing is, they'd be more empowered if they didn't neglect their body and didn't neglect the physical realm. Socrates, who's one of the most phenomenal minds throughout all of history, said, a man has no business. No, he said, a man has no right to be an amateur in the matters of physical health, of physical fitness. Socrates said that, one of the greatest minds of all time. You are not allowed to be an amateur in the realms of physical fitness because you're respecting your vessel. You're respecting your body. And at the end of the day, like I said before, everything you're trying to do up here is really so you can have something down here. So why are you neglecting it? Love yourself. Take care of yourself. Get the Value Finder tool. It'll help you find your purpose, which will actually assist you with a lot of this. Empower yourself and crush spiritual mania. I'll see you next time. From me and wifey. Peace.
I really do like that red chalk.
Oh yeah,
really
the
nice
red chalk.
against that, yeah.
Yeah, it does. It's
Maybe
format
next
slate.
time I'll just write the title at least.
Sure.